Good morning. Today is my second day of training. I just washed up, didn't even have time to dry my hair. Lately I've really been missing those 4 hours. Anyway, that's it. I'm heading out. By the way, I didn't have time to eat at home, so I ordered something and will probably eat here.
Good morning.
Good morning. I am getting ready for my driving lesson now. Today, I finally have my first offline lesson.
Finally, today I will be learning offline with an instructor. I am very happy about this. Right now the time is 8:30. I am being picked up. The lesson ends at 10:30, and after that I will go to my training, and after that at 3 I will go to work.
By the way, someone recently gave me, yesterday someone gave me this necklace. I don't know, I really like it, and it feels like it gives me strength because on the back it says believe in yourself. And every time I want to, let's say, I don't know, yesterday I felt the power of this necklace. When I felt sad, I just held it like this, and it was like
Strength returned. I do not know, because those are just the exact words that I would like to see every day, or feel or understand that yes, it is right there with me.
I just finished driving. I had my first lesson today and I went out on the road right away. That's how it happened. My instructor said that's not allowed, but oh well. So then we arrived at the main office and practiced right here. This is the road for students. That's it. Now I'm heading to my training. Oh, it is almost 11 o'clock now. I actually needed to be there by 10:30. Well, it is fine. I already warned them. Everything is okay. By the way, when I was showing you those who are training there, where we were driving, a security guard saw me. He was like, no, you cannot film. So I stopped filming. But yeah, I was driving there for 2 hours. No, first the instructor came to me and said, have you ever driven before? Do you have any experience? I said, well, yes, I do, just 1 month.
Because I drove in Kyrgyzstan and only for a month, and I also have a license. And then he was like, hey, right then, get in.
And we drove from my house to the main office where we will be practicing and so on. It took about 20 minutes. I was driving on the highway right on the first day, and then at the end, when we arrived here, he said that it is actually not allowed, it is forbidden. But he says, so alright, I'll make an exception. And then we arrived here and we drove in circles for, well, an hour and a half. Now I'm heading to training. So I will be there until 3 and then off to work. I am of course sleepy, I am lacking sleep, but I have arrived and now I will study.
Hi everyone, guys. I just left another company. So now I am heading to work.
I also had a driving lesson today. I was driving. Then I arrived at another company. I will probably tell you a bit later what kind of company it is and what I was doing there. But to put it briefly, it was another job interview, and I will probably tell you later why I am not doing the training with the second company. As soon as I start training here with the new company, when I first flew here to Dubai, I never thought I would be going to interviews and doing training like this. I will have a driver's license soon. I didn't think about that either. I didn't know at all. Anyway, let's see. Everything I am doing now is just the beginning. I am curious what will happen in 2 or 3 years.
Hi everyone, today is my day off and I am heading to Circle Mall. Okay, let's go in order. It is 7:30 now. I went to my driving lesson this morning and finished. I got home at 1 in the afternoon, and after that I just laid around, sat and watched a reality show about the job, okay, where I am planning to work.
It turns out there is a reality show on Netflix. I was watching it, I found it super interesting, and I actually liked it.
So
Then I just lay there and lay there. I mean, I was watching and watching, talked to my parents, and then I thought, damn, I need to go to Circle Mall for a notebook. You don't know this, but I am super, super picky about notebooks. I need to like everything, absolutely everything. And this notebook shouldn't have lines or grids, it should be blank, like a sketchbook, but look like a notebook, you know? Before leaving, I decided to eat, so I ordered myself a burger. First I will eat and then I will go there and maybe I will sit down and read a book about the job, about the profession that I will be doing very, very soon. So anyway, I recently told you, or maybe I didn't, but I found another company. Yeah. So the company where I was doing the training, I stopped going there because I found an even better company. Like, don't judge, don't judge. It's just good for me, for my future. Yeah. It's just that in that company where I was doing the training, there were actually a lot of beginners there too, and they like weren't making any sales. Many of them had been there for 2.5 months, and as it turns out, still hadn't made any sales. And that was a bit of a red flag for me, even though the training was actually super. I liked everything, I liked the people, but I thought if I joined them, I might also end up sitting there for 2.5 months without any sales, without any deals. But I need deals faster, so I found another company. My training there starts soon on the 11th of July, and today is the 9th of July. So that is in 2 days. Also, I have an internal driving school exam scheduled for tomorrow. During this exam, they will only look at how I drive. So there is no parking, nothing else, just driving. Actually, I don't know. I think I will handle it because I drive well. Yes, I drive well. I'm not bragging. It's just a fact, a fact. Actually, I decided to go to Circle Mall so spontaneously, like super spontaneously. I was just sitting there writing my thoughts in my diary, and then I just wrote. And then I think, damn, I need a notebook for my new profession to study, and so on. And by the way, at the new company, I will also be doing training at first. Actually, you know, when I was a teenager, I used to watch a series called like this. My friends, they can just spontaneously decide to go somewhere, either to the movies or even meet up at night, you know. Back then I lived with my parents, and of course I didn't have that opportunity, but I used to dream so much that I could do that too. You know, whenever I want, even if I feel like going to the beach in the middle of the night, okay, I just go to the beach in the middle of the night. And why is that? Because I can afford it, right? And now I realize that this is my life. For example, right now, I was just sitting there writing in my diary, and then I suddenly wanted to go to the mall.
And that is it. I am going now. You see, I really like these kinds of spontaneous moments. That is all.
See you later. By the way, I am back. I am also thinking about an idea for a video to just sit and talk, like a podcast with myself. Just sit down and start talking about life in Dubai or something else, or just about anything. Really, what is the difference? Just sitting and talking. Before, such ideas scared me because I didn't know how long, what to talk about, and so on, but now I'm actually interested in it.
Maybe it is just a matter of confidence, or perhaps it is also a matter of knowledge.
Maybe back then I wasn't confident, or I just didn't have the knowledge, and now, well, I don't know, I can't say that I have a ton of knowledge or anything, but this idea interests me, and maybe I'll think about it and film a video like that, just sitting and talking. I actually have one idea. It is not about life in Dubai, but about driver's license in Dubai. What it is like, how they get them here, you know? Because it turns out everything is different here. Write in the comments. Would you even be interested in that or not? Or just drop some ideas for what I could discuss, you know? That is all.
it. It is already 12:35.
So that is how it is. I really like it. It is actually, it turns out you need to buy a notebook like this because it is much more convenient that way. And I really like this bar in general because here, well, yes, music is playing, but it is not too loud and you can read and write here.
So the music here doesn't drown out your thoughts or you in general. You can also sit here with friends, chat without shouting, just talk normally in a regular voice, but you probably hear it as very loud right now, though it really isn't. And now I'll probably head home, wash off my makeup and go to sleep because I have an exam tomorrow. First, I have a driving lesson, and right after that, I have my internal driving school exam. Good morning, I have an exam coming up today. First, just driving and then the driving test. So, wish me luck, I'm off.
I just finished driving. Now my exam starts in half an hour. And we will see if I pass or not. If I do not pass, then I will practice again. If I pass, then parking will begin.
Hello me, I passed. I will tell you the details a bit later, but for now I need to go to head home.
You're Isat, who passed the driving test on the first try. But it was an internal school exam, yet it turned out to be super strict because there was a girl with me who she is already here for the second time. I asked her, why didn't you pass the first time? Yuma, she said, I just forgot some small things, so they failed me. And so the three of us got in, me, this girl who didn't pass, and the instructor, the examiner, what do you call him? She got behind the wheel first, and I was like, oh my God, thank you so much that she went first, because I wanted to see how everything worked. And when she was driving, she was super nervous, like looking around like this, but I understand it is an exam after all, and it's probably a bit nerve-wracking, right? But she passed the exam after all, and then I sat down, started driving like this, okay. And my examiner kept telling me, slowly, be careful. So in reality, everything was careful, everything was cautious, it was fine. But because she is an examiner, right? And so, I don't know, damn, she kept telling me, drive carefully, slower, and so on. And then at the end, we were pulling into the parking lot where our office is. Then she told this girl who was taking the test for the second time. She was sitting in the back, and she let her go. She gave her back her Emirates ID and said, "Okay, you passed. You just need more practice. That's it. You can go now."
We're sitting there. I'm behind the wheel. She's right there in the passenger seat and says, "I need to talk to you."
Nah. I was like, okay. And then she says, as soon as you sat down, as soon as you started driving like that, I realized right away that you know how to drive. You were driving very fast. You were driving very sharply. All of that. I understand that you actually know how to drive yourself because I have been driving for 15 years myself. Actually, it was at the beginning she was saying things to me, right? I really thought she would fail me because she was saying things like, you were driving too fast and all that. But then she told me, I told you once, I warned you to be super careful. After that, you were careful. Like you drove cautiously. And after that, you drove normally, right? But when you are taking a driving test, you shouldn't show that you know how to drive. Okay, when you have your own car, drive however you want and all that. But when you have an exam, you have to drive with both hands carefully, not racing around like that, not abruptly, but smoothly. I thought to myself, well, that's it. I failed. I need a second attempt and so on. But actually, I agreed because I completely forgot that this was an exam. Yes, and I was driving like that, even though I should have been careful, right? And if she had told me, that's it, you failed, you're taking it a second time, I would have said, okay, you know best, I'll listen to you and take it a second time. But she told me, I know you know how to drive and so on, but be careful. And when you take the final tests, don't show those kinds of things there.
drive smoothly, carefully, and slowly. And so at the end, she tells me, okay, yes, Aizat, you passed. It turns out you know how to drive, but be super careful. There definitely won't be a second chance. Anyway, that's how it went, and I passed.
So, I passed, guys. I honestly thought I wouldn't pass. I had this feeling and sense that I wouldn't pass because I tend to rush. When I drive well, I have everything under control, but sometimes I can drive super fast.
I don't know, it just happens on its own because I just love speed, or I don't know.
So I really thought she would fail me because of my speed. I mean, we were driving 40 kilometers per hour, but that is super slow. I wanted to go a little faster, 60, and she was like, 60 is not allowed, 40.
And she kept telling me that all the time, and I kept forgetting that I needed to go 40, not 60, or at least that. She probably doesn't even know that when I'm driving with my instructor, when we're just practicing, we go 80, 100 kilometers per hour. Yeah, but of course you're not allowed to do that.
But don't tell anyone, okay? And now it turns out I need to go to the office, the main office, and set up a schedule there for my parking classes, parking lessons, right? There we will only learn how to park, and then a parking exam, and then some more online tests, and then the final test. Anyway, that is how things are. And starting tomorrow, by the way, we'll have training at the new company. Let's go.
That is it. I need to get to work. Bye.
Good morning, guys. I overslept my driving lesson today. We were supposed to have a lesson at 8:30, but I woke up at 9:30, and it turns out the instructor kept calling and calling. We are actually very good friends. We became a little close, so he said, okay, I'll mark you as present, and it is already 10:50 now.
I am heading to my training at the company where I will be studying until 3, and then I will head to work. It turns out it is a new company and the training will be different. I must have been so tired that I just could not wake up for my driving lesson. I do not know how it will be at the new company. I hope that everything will be fine.